oh, oh yeah. Ooh yeah. We go. Oh yeah. We go. We go. We go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, if you are watching us on YouTube, beyondthechat.com, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live, wherever you are watching, thank you. Thank you so much from the very bottom of our hearts. I think my thing coming off or something.
Just a little cushion.
Yeah, it's a little cushion. Okay, I can't be looking crazy now. You gotta. I'm not looking crazy. Okay. Oh, there I go. There I go. Boom. Okay.
Just like that.
Just like that. Okay. I like it. So listen, if you are watching us on Facebook, beyondthechat.com, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you are watching, thank you so much for joining us. This is our 4th episode, season 2 of beyondthechat.com. And we are super excited to bring you the funny, to bring you the engaging, the exciting, the concerts, the singing, the interviewees. We're talking real life situations, love, community, children, raising families, all that good stuff. And tonight, we are talking about domestic violence and the warning signs of domestic violence. And if you haven't been following me, if you haven't been paying attention, I myself am an advocate for victims of domestic violence that do not have a voice and cannot speak for themselves. I advocate for those men, women, and children alike because it is important to me because, it's something different when you figure out what people are going through. Mm-hmm. It causes you to, take a step back, take a seat and really just kind of dig into what's going on with people in general, because a lot of times people don't have the tools or the resources to handle situations. And so their go-to is the physical. And so that's what we want to talk about tonight. And I did some research. I was looking up a couple of sites and found out that there is a plethora of people that have experienced domestic violence, also have been, perpetrators of domestic violence. And, so that we can bring it to a point where we all can relate. I've listed quite a few celebrities that have been accused of domestic violence, and I wanted to share major surprises, so that we can talk about it. So listen, today we're talking about the warning signs of domestic violence, and again, if you don't know now, please understand that we are advocates for those that have been victimized in relationships that have resulted in domestic violence. And what I have to say is, and we're going to jump into it, but what I have to say is that I think what's important for people to realize is that relationship is not just someone that you call your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife.
Mm-hmm. It can be personal. It can be on the job.
It can be on the job. And hence the word relative, relation, relate. So, you have a relationship, or you are in a relationship with your mom. You're in a relationship with your dad. You're in a relationship with your children. You're even in a relationship with your neighbors.
Yeah. Your pastor.
Members of the congregation.
Anyone that you have any kind of connection with. And it doesn't have to be long-term. It can be short-term. It can be long-term.
Right.
But any type of connection where you have to interact with someone on a repeated basis is a relationship.
Absolutely. And I think that once we get that in our heads, once we understand, the basis of relationship, then I think we can get to the point of where abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse. There's all kinds of different ways that a person can be abused, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical abuse. That you don't have to put your hands on someone for you to abuse them.
Right.
So let's jump into it. My thought of the week. I want you to hear this. At any given moment, you have the power to say, this is not how the story is going to end. Because listen, a lot of times we can find ourselves in situations or in relationships where it starts out good, then it gets a little crazy. Then it goes back to being good, then it gets a little crazy. Then it gets to the point where it's a little more crazy. And we are like, this is not what I signed up for, or this is not how I see things going. And I have the power to say no. You have the power to decide your future, your outcome, your tomorrow by just being strong enough to say, I don't want to live like this.
Right. And understanding when you don't have to wait until enough is enough.
Right.
You should be able to see certain things that people do, whether they're right or they're wrong.
Exactly.
It's very clear.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't take long for you to pick up on something not being right.
And I think too that the value comes in when we understand how important we are to ourselves.
Yeah.
Knowing your value, knowing your worth, knowing how important you are, you get to decide, what is enough, what is okay, what's not enough. And when you decide what is enough and what's not enough, that's when you begin to build the relationship that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're clear and transparent about your expectations of your relationship or of your partner or of your children or of your parents, then you can begin to build on that relationship. Like, I love my mom because my mom and I can talk transparent. Like, she keeps it 100 with me. She tells me how she feels about something. I keep it 100 with her. I tell her how I feel about something. And I think that we have a mutual level of respect for one another because we don't sugarcoat our feelings.
Right.
She doesn't get mad at me because I raise my voice or I get upset. She knows that I'm a passionate person. When I talk about something that I'm passionate about, it comes with, an increased volume in my voice, or it comes with body language, and it comes with my hands moving and my eyes rolling. And it's not necessarily directed to her in a matter or a means of disrespect. It's directed at her to get my point across.
Mm-hmm.
And not that that's always the right thing to do, but I think that because of the relationship that my mom and I have, we have a mutual respect in that aspect, to know that I would never, ever disrespect my mom. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But when I speak to her, because of the relationship we have, she knows when I get passionate, she knows when I'm upset, and she knows, when to talk to me, when to not talk to me, when to leave me alone, when to call me back. But I think that that's important because a lot of times when you're in a relationship and you say something or you do something and the person like wasn't expecting that or is taken aback by it, it could cause a shift in your relationship.
Yeah, especially when it's a person that you may not be used to talking to.
Right.
A person that's new in your life, you're new in their lives,
yeah.
and you're just being yourself.
Right.
And you have to brace yourself for the other person being themselves.
Right.
As well.
Absolutely.
So, and some people, they may come off harsh and you may not be used to that because
mm-hmm.
of your type of upbringing.
Right.
And, but in their world, on their side of, where they live and where they were brought up, they talk like that all day and it's nothing to them.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of, realize and kind of read people.
That is very true.
And not take stuff to heart because of the way you are and the way you were brought up. You just have to kind of like gauge it and say, okay, I'm gonna let that one pass.
Right.
And see if it keeps on happening. And if it's just part of who that person is and it's not the kind of person that you want to be around, then hey, remove yourself from that type of relationship.
Absolutely. And guess what? It's okay. Like, you may be hurt by it. You may feel some type of way. You may have emotions about it. But guess what? If it's really not what you signed up for, then why participate?
Mm-hmm.
Why show up? Why get dressed? Why show up? Why do your hair, your makeup, put on your good clothes and your nice shoes and all that stuff if it's not what you signed up for? Because you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your talent.
Yeah.
And it's not what you signed up for. But we're going to jump into some more conversation about domestic violence and domestic abuse. And if you want to chime in, join in the conversation, be a part of what we're talking about. If you have something you want to share, or you have feedback or outlook or a different perspective, we want to hear from you. We definitely want you to be a part of the conversation. Make sure you make sure you subscribe, because we're here every Sunday at 6 p.m. and we're talking real facts. So, we want you to be a part of the conversation. If you want to call in, the number's on your screen, 833-282-2428. Shout out to my mama. She's in the building, the queen of line dance. Listen, if you love line dancing, oh my goodness, you have to look up the Line Dance Connection and Queen Sheila McFadden. She is the queen of line dance in the Tampa Bay area, and she absolutely loves it.
Yeah, and for you all that are retired, get involved.
Yes.
She'll keep you busy.
She will keep you busy. She will keep you active, and she will keep you dancing
and laughing.
And laughing. She'll keep you stepping. She'll keep you learning new dances. So if you want to line dance, if you're interested in getting into something to, find something to do with your time since you're retired or whatever it is, even if you're not retired or real tired. Well, if you're real tired, don't go to her class, because baby, you're going to be towed up by the time you leave that.
But she'll help, pick you up a little bit, because, she has a mix. And the thing about it is, once you join, it's not like you're in competition with all these people that's like, wow, okay, what am I doing here?
Right.
There's all levels of talent in there. So you'll fit in. You'll fit from beginner to, advanced people that's been doing it for a very long time. Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll say veterans.
Yeah.
But hey, reach out.
Absolutely. All right, so let's jump into it. So we talked about our thought of the week. I'm going to read it again. Thought of the week. And I want you to think on this. At any given moment, you have the power to say, this is not how the story is going to end. Yeah. Think on that and start thinking about things that are going on in your life where you feel like you want to make a change, or you feel like you need to, dive deeper into it, to switch some things up and to renegotiate your part in the relationship. And you have that power. You can make that decision for yourself. So before we jump deeper into domestic violence and domestic abuse and the impact that it has on people's lives, we're going to talk about some home remedies, and we're going to let TW take it from here.
Well, I did a little reading. I'm always looking at stuff, home remedies, how to resolve things, how to fix stuff, because I'm a fixer. My peeps used to call me Inspector Gadget, or MacGyver. Is always something I'm always digging into, trying to figure out, okay, how does it work? But today I did a little digging on just stuff that you can try to kind of better your health. Certain remedies, and there's a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to read a few of the things that I found that were pretty interesting that, could help. So 1, having pomegranate juice daily is good for the heart and useful for people suffering from low blood pressure.
Oh, wow. Now I love pomegranate juice.
Yeah,
it is. I've heard that it is good for so many things. Even, the antioxidants in it will help with cancer cells, killing cancer cells.
And even if you don't do the juice, you can just do the fruit.
Yes. Now the fruit is good. They sell it in the store where you can get it in a little container where it's already taken out of the skin, the seeds and all that stuff. And it's very good for you. So pomegranate, absolutely. I love and pomegranate juice. Yeah. You can mix it, if you
just drink it straight,
or just drink. I drink mine straight, but sometimes it can be a little bitter.
No chaser.
Yeah, straight, no chaser. That is very true. Sometimes people add, or mix it in stuff, but I do drink mine straight, and it's very, very healthy. I love it.
I like mine cold.
Yes, it has to be cold.
A lot of times, they don't even sell it cold.
That is very true. They sell it
right off the shelf.
Right off the shelf. That is. We should do some research to see if you should drink it at room temperature,
or if you should drink. Way to drink it to get it into your system.
Absolutely, that's a good one. I'll write that down.
It's the one that looks like a little hourglass, like a little. So just so you know, when you're in the store, you see that pomegranate.
Get you some pomegranate juice in your life.
It's a sexy bottle. Sexy. You may not look like that because of drinking it, but it's a sexy bottle.
But we need to put a disclaimer. You will not. Okay, have an hourglass figure because you drank some pomegranate juice out the hourglass bottle. So we need to say that. We did not tell you that.
Yeah, right. We just said a bottle looked like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
What else you got?
So another one, I have sucking on a piece of clove after a meal helps reduce acidity problems.
Oh, that's a good one.
So
especially people with like what acid reflux
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know what? Sometimes I find myself, and it's rare, but sometimes I find myself, because I love lemonade, and I love orange juice. But if I combine those and I drink quite a bit throughout the day, like for instance, if I have dinner and I drink lemonade, have another lemonade, or I'll mix it with orange juice and lemonade.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of acid, and then you go to sleep on that, and that's saying,
yeah, it's a volcano.
It'll come up in your throat and burn your throat.
Ooh.
But you're good by morning time. But just one thing that could help with that.
So clove, you buy. Tell us where to buy clove and how you.
Well, I mean, you can buy a piece of clove from Publix. Publix has just about everything.
Your local grocery store. For those that don't have a Publix, if you're in a different state or city or a different part of the United States or the world, your local grocery store will have cloves.
Not cloves.
Clove. CLOVE.
Yeah, VE. So I have another one. A flake. All right, flake, not a whole clove.
Yes.
A flake. Okay, a flake of garlic swallowed with water taken on an empty stomach daily in the morning can help any stomach ache. Okay, and it also helps with gastric problems.
Right. That's awesome.
That's help. Okay, not remove, not totally take it away. It can help. All right, that is a flake. Okay, a flake of garlic.
A flake of garlic.
Okay, not a piece of minced garlic.
Yes.
Okay, not a whole clove of garlic, but a flake.
A flake of garlic. Yes.
That's kind of like a slither.
Right.
You know how when you want a piece of pie and you're like, just give me a slither. Okay, not that big, but
oh God.
a thin slither.
Yeah, a thin slither. So with you said garlic, right?
Yeah, garlic.
So can you do like garlic powder?
It's not the same, because the garlic powder doesn't have the oil in it.
Oh, good to know.
So you want the actual, the flake.
The flake. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
You want it to be real garlic.
And so you're chewing on this, you put it under your tongue, you put it in your food.
It basically says swallow it. So
swallow it.
Yeah. It's a flake of garlic swallowed with water.
Okay.
It's kind of like taking a pill.
Gotcha.
That's why you don't want to do a clove with garlic.
Got it. Okay.
Have a whole piece of garlic in it, and the next thing you know, you can't pass it.
That's true.
Doctor
be messed up.
You be messed up.
Exactly.
Be a hot mess.
Yes. Okay, that's a good one. So a flake of garlic for gastric problems. We have clove. We have for acid reflux and stuff like that. Okay, we got pomegranate for the antioxidants and healthful benefits of pomegranate. What else you got?
All right, this one you're not gonna like.
Oh boy.
But I'm just gonna put it out there, because some people are okay with like stuff like veggies. You like some veggies.
I like my veggies, yes.
But in this particular case, because some people don't always like this,
okay,
you may say, okay.
Tell me about it. Here we
go. Eat before breakfast.
Okay.
Half cup of cooked beets.
No.
If you suffer from chronic constipation or indigestion.
No. Not gonna happen.
Get you right.
Nah, I'm already right. So I'm good. They are disgusting. Like I don't know how you put that in your mouth.
You probably become unconstipated if you just hear that you have to do that, huh? If you just tell me that's what you're cooking,
yes,
I'm good.
I'm good. I don't need that, because boom, healed in Jesus' name. I got that kind of relationship with God. I'm like, heal it.
You're like, honey, peace. I'll see you in a minute. I'm actually going to go fill out application UPS in the bathroom.
Exactly. Listen, if you eat beets on your salad or beets on whatever, chime in, let us know. If you like beets, let us know how you feel about beets.
I'm gonna chime in myself. No. I actually do like beets. I like them on my Greek salad.
Ooh.
And I also love feta on my Greek
and that
salad.
Is even more gross. Like a chunk of cheese balls in your mouth.
Cheese balls.
Well, that's what they look like.
Crumbs. Just say crumbs.
Okay,
cheese balls in your mouth don't sound right.
Okay. All right. A chunk of cheese crumbs.
Thank you.
With some beets mixed together. That to me, that's gross. See, I got an amen. This is amen, Tasha. Nope. See that right there?
That came
See,
yesterday.
let me get
that came yesterday.
That wasn't no yesterday. That was just a few seconds ago. That said amen to me saying beets are disgusting. I don't know how they came up with that, but that's disgusting. And then my mom says, I love pickled beets.
Yes. Pickled beets are delicious.
I know you love pickled beets, but absolutely not.
And folks, regular beets really don't have that much of a taste, but pickled beets, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Dad says he loves beets.
Yes, I mean beets.
He said, I love beets, B-E-A-T-S. I mean beets, B-E-E-T-S. That's cute. I love that. You get a hand clap for that one.
Yes, beets are good.
So, listen, I'm not eating no beets. When we go get a Greek salad, don't you put that on my salad, as you're going to be making it again, because that's gross. And you know what's crazy? I love pickles though.
Delicious.
I can't. And then the cheese crumbs, like a whole and then it just like melt, just like squish on your mouth. No, I'm not doing that.
It's all right. But
no. Y'all can have that. You can have all the beets, the B-E-A-T-S and the B-E-E-T-S.
All right.
What else you got?
We'll take it. More beets for us.
Oh, yeah, more beets for y'all.
All right. So the last one I have, and you can attest to, well, actually, you can attest to something similar.
Okay.
But a drop of garlic juice into your ear will relieve the pain of ear infection.
Garlic juice. Wow, that I've never heard that before.
Yeah. So you can do stuff like do cold press garlic juice, a drop. Okay, not a cup, not a half cup, not a teaspoon.
Right.
A drop.
A drop.
Like drip. You know, like when it rains, a drop. Drip.
Yeah. That kind of drop.
Yeah, so it like relieve the pain. Not drop it like it's high.
Drop it like it's high.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't drop it. Drop like, nah, that didn't work. So
a drop of mineral oil. I'm sorry, not mineral oil, of garlic oil. Juice. Garlic juice. Now, how do you? Okay,
which is pretty much the same thing as oil, but you're not adding anything to it. You're just pressing it, because when you press the garlic, it actually you'll see the oil come out.
Wow, that is
kind of like a cold press.
Yeah.
It's same thing with some vegetables. You can actually press them, and the more you press, you start seeing the juice. Just like when you like do a juicer, it really compresses all that stuff and gets the oils and all that stuff out of veggies and fruit and all that.
Well, that's
and
pretty
you
awesome.
Get the pure minerals and all the good stuff out
I have never heard that before, and it's crazy that you're sharing that with us, because you'd be surprised how many things that are out there.
That's natural.
That's
naturally healing.
Yes.
Or aiding.
Absolutely.
Just like olive oil.
Yes.
You drop that in your ear, and you can get the wax out of your ear.
Well, that's like me. Remember, I was having an issue with my right ear. For some reason, I kept having a pain behind my ear. I went to the doctor. They didn't find anything wrong. They stuck a tube all the way up my nose to my brain cells. I said, ma'am, it's this my
is not
ear.
A COVID test.
Listen, it's my ear, not my brain. Can you get that down out of there? I mean, she saw what I was thinking for real. I mean, she had it on the camera and everything. Yes, it is. And then they couldn't find anything. But then she said, well, if you take and put some drops of mineral oil in your ear, it'll relieve the pressure. And we did that. And I have
mineral oil or olive oil?
No, it was mineral oil. Yeah, it was mineral oil. Yep. And it was mineral oil.
I know olive oil helps with the wax.
Yes, but the mineral oil helps with the pain infection. Yes, we put a drop of mineral oil in my ear, and I have not had pain since. And that was like what, the beginning of this year or last year?
It's been a few months.
About
3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months, and mineral oil, pain in your ear, boom, gone.
Yeah,
I love it.
That was overnight.
Overnight. It helped me overnight. And I had been having the pain in my ear for months.
Yeah, because I remember sometimes, we'd be looking at a movie and I'd be like, say something or I'll laugh and you won't respond. I'm like, did you hear me? But then I find out you sleep. But once you got a mineral oil, that stuff, you actually start waking up when I would say something.
Wow. So that's how you doing it today?
I'm just saying.
You just going to throw me under the bus in front of everybody.
How good the mineral oil works. Before, you didn't hear nothing.
Because I was knocked out. Listen, I be trying to how you do this right here. You kind of be like, cover your face and be trying to act like you watching the TV. And then when something happened on TV, he know you supposed to be laughing at it because it would be funny any other time. You don't laugh. He'd be like, yeah, you sleep. And then he paused the TV, and then I hear silent, everything goes silent. I wake up. I be like, yeah, I'm watching. He'd be like, what just happened? Huh?
The man just laughed. Yeah, he just laughed.
What
happened 10 minutes ago?
I don't know. I was knocked out sleep. But that's awesome. So pomegranate juice. Drink you some pomegranate juice. Get you some juice from the store. Get you a clove. Take a flake of that, and swallow it with some water. What else we got? We got garlic juice. Is good for your ear wax and anything like that. And then what was the last thing?
Don't try to skip over beets now. Come on.
Fine.
Boil some beets. Now, if you have constipation or indigestion issues, boil some beets. Okay, no, don't boil them and then just leave them on the pot. You got to boil them and consume them. All right, don't be like, oh, I boiled some beets.
I boil them all right, but they are not going in my body.
Don't boil them, then turn them off and leave them on the stove and think you're going to, relieve
I'm
your constipation.
not eating beets. I don't care how you twist it, how you say it, how you make it sound, because you be like, oh, it's full of vitamins and it's good for you.
I bet I make you a beet smoothie. You won't even know.
I probably won't know. Now, you know what? If you mix it with like I don't like sour cream. I'm not putting sour cream in my mouth. I wouldn't care.
But if it's a sour cream pound cake.
Hello. and listen, I have this little dip called ranch dip, but I mix two ingredients and it's sour cream. But you put that powder in there, that changes the game. You can put that on your chicken wings, on your potato chips, on your celery, your carrots, anything. But I'm not eating sour cream by itself. Yeah. That's just like I'm not eating cream cheese. But when your sister Kim make her lasagna, I'm eating what is it? It's not cottage cheese. It's
ricotta.
Ricotta. I'm eating it. It's going down. And I need a big piece. That's all I'm saying. I need you to cut my slice big enough to fit in a big bowl.
She actually owes us some lasagna.
She does. We need to call her.
Yeah. She said give her a week or something, or 2 days. She said 2 days or a week.
I don't remember, but we'll figure it out. We'll message her.
Give her something.
So yes, okay. Beets, pomegranate juice, garlic juice,
garlic flake,
a clove.
Yeah. So those all healthy things that you can introduce into your life.
I like it.
To remedy some things.
I like it, but I don't like the beets, but I like the rest of it.
I like the idea, right? You like that?
I like the idea, but so I think that I can get
remedies out there that you can, go to the store and not feel like you're taking a drug.
Exactly, and see, that's what I like. See, So I'll tell you a quick story. When I had my oldest daughter, Brianna, I had back labor because they tried to give me an epidural and it did not take. And so I had natural birth. But after I had her, I felt all of the pain in my back. And
I need to explain something real quick. Just want to let you guys know that it's not really, in tune with what labor is. Back labor is not like a C-section from the back. All right. You're not having a C-section from the back. Like, they pulled it out her back, through the rib. Okay. That's not back labor.
No,
all right.
It means
so all of
the pain was in my back. I didn't feel the contractions. I didn't feel the pain of having to push. It was all in my back. Normally when you have a baby, you feel it in your lower extremities. I did not experience that. All of my pain was in my back. And so they gave me some Percocet to deal with the pain because I couldn't sleep, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat. It just hurt. And so when they gave me Percocet, because I'm not a person that takes medicine, it went through my body like a roller coaster. And I began hallucinating. People were talking to me and I thought it was 1,000 people in the room. I started seeing people coming toward me. And so I vowed that day that I would never, ever, ever take medicine again. And I found different natural remedies to heal my body. And that's been 24 years. And so I don't really, I'm not going to say I don't really, but I don't like taking medicine at all because of the effects that it has on your body. And so I look for natural remedies to help me with aches and pains. Now, let me tell y'all something. What is it? What's the oil you give me for my knee?
Oh, magnesium.
Man, look at here. So Terry's mom introduced us to magnesium oil. And I hurt my knee in an elevator when I worked at Verizon 12 years ago. And every time it's about to rain or the weather is about to change, trust me, I can tell you before it happens because my knee starts aching. And we started putting magnesium oil on my knee. And oh my goodness. So if you have some aches and some pains, your joints start hurting, or you start feeling like, you got a tingling sensation somewhere in your body, sciatic nerve, spray some magnesium oil on it and rub it in. I'm telling you, it is a miracle worker and it's all natural.
Yeah.
And it is like overnight sensation. I love it. I swear by it. I got a big bottle of it. And whenever I feel like I just can't take the pain, because I have a high tolerance for pain. So whenever I feel like I just can't take the pain anymore, I spray some magnesium oil on that knee.
And in about 30 minutes, you feel a difference.
I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling real good right now.
Hey.
Oh, yes.
We haven't released that song, have we?
We haven't
released that song.
We have not.
So they don't even know about feeling real good right now.
So we have a song. It's called "On Top of the World," and it says, "I'm sitting on top of the world. I got my band with me.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on top of the world, and they giving me energy. Yeah. Sitting on top of the world. I got my band with me. Yeah. Sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world." Oh, yeah. We got to release that one.
Yeah, and I thought we were going to release that one as a single. And just release it just because it's such a great song.
It is a great song.
And then we started working on a gospel project, and it was like, okay, well, that's not really gospel. So,
but we got time.
But you know what? We started working on a gospel project, and then we went on and did stand up.
That's true. Yeah.
And we were like, that's more impactful because of the Can't Breathe.
Yes, absolutely.
Thing. But that's sitting on top of the world.
Yes. Yes. I'm happy, excited, feeling real good right now. I just can't describe it. Nothing can bring me down. Flying free like a butterfly. I got my head pointed toward the sky. I'm on a natural high. And I'm sitting on top of the world. Hey, I got my band with me. Yeah. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready?
Yeah, we need to go ahead and do something with that. Even if we give it away for free to all our subscribers.
I'm down.
To subscribers.
And
just send it to them.
Yeah.
For being faithful listeners and joiners. Yeah. That'd be a nice song for them to have.
I'm down. I say let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for those of you that are watching and have no idea who Jayla is, or the granddaughter that the people in our family chat are talking about, our daughter Jayla turned 16 today. Oh my goodness. And she is the baby girl.
Baby girl.
She's the baby girl. She turned 16 today. And when I tell you, we are so proud of her and so honored to be her parents, and just to have her in our lives and us be in her life. It's been a blessing. She is the most amazing child. 16 years old. She's never had a spanking. She's never been on punishment
or beating.
She's an honor roll student. She's a very loving child. She has a heart filled with pure gold. She loves her family. She's a social butterfly. She is an amazing child. And I love her so much. And so today is her 16th birthday. Yeah. So everybody is sending my baby some love. And I love seeing that because she deserves it.
Yeah, she is so driven and motivated to be independent. She just got a license and a job. As soon as she turns 16, it's like,
yes,
girl is on. And it's like she'll plan it, say it, and do it. And that just kind of reminds me of me a little bit about other than being a social butterfly, because I'm not all over the place. But anyway, it's just she's just so centered and balanced and such a good. Nice.
She get it from her mama.
Young lady.
She get it from her mama. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just saying she get it from her mama. Not that it's because I'm her mama. I'm just saying get it from her mama.
Yeah, she get it from her mama.
Yes, she gets it from her mama. So anyway, happy birthday to my baby girl, and shout out to her for her birthday. She had an amazing time. We took her to the drive-through zoo. We saw the giraffes and the monkeys and the rhinos and the zebras. And I mean, it was so awesome. So if you want to take a family trip, it takes about 3.5 hours to get there from the Tampa Bay area. Mm-hmm. But there's a drive-through zoo in Georgia. There's one in Palm Beach. I'm sure there's one I think there's one in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Take your family to the drive-through zoo. Let me tell you, when I was 16 years old, my mother took me and my baby sister and I think my brother was there, to the drive-through zoo in Georgia. And when I tell you, that was one of the most memorable experiences of my entire young teenage life. We had an amazing time. And I'm not even an animal person.
No, she's a human person.
I don't love animals. I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, look at the cute animal, look at this. No, but the experience of just driving through the zoo,
it was awesome.
and watching the monkeys and the rhinos and the zebras and all the different animals in their element, it was just
it was awesome. Because every time I see something like a rhino, a huge rhino, the size of a car, I think, man, it's like we're watching dinosaurs. This is what it was like way back when, something that you can't lift.
Exactly.
You can't own as a pet.
Yeah. A couple times I was like, oh, my mom gonna kill us, because we drove my mom's van, because she has a nice family size van. I was like, oh, she gonna kill us, because the rhinos, they was like, them jokers was huge. And we was like
huge.
And we were driving up on the edge, and they was like walking towards us, and I'm like, okay, these people in front of us either gonna get their car towed up, or I can't get out and run, because they be done killed me, but something about to happen. And they was walking towards the vehicle. I'm like,
pull up one of those rhino pictures.
I'm like, oh my Lord,
how large those things are.
they were ridiculously huge.
Goodness, those things the size of a car.
Yeah. So we can show you some of the pictures that we saw at the zoo. We know that this is not what the the podcast is about, but we definitely want to share our experience, because we're talking about my baby girl. So my mom says, singing happy birthday to you, Jayla. Grandma loves you. So we want to make sure Jayla knows that she is loved by so many. She's such a wonderful young lady, and she's so beautiful, and she has a really good spirit. So shout out to Jayla. Happy 16th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Gotta share it with me. There you go. And then it pulls up. Okay. All right. So while TW is pulling up some pictures from our experience at the drive-through zoo, I am going to share with you our anonymous letter, because today we're talking about domestic violence, domestic abuse, and the effects that it has on people. And, thinking about domestic violence and domestic abuse, not only does it affect you, the victim, it also affects the people that love you. So it affects everybody around you, because not only do they care for you, they don't want to see you hurt. And then if you're the perpetrator, they don't want you to be that type of person. I can remember being at church, and I won't call names, or I won't say the name of the church, but I can remember being at church, and the type of church that we went to, you would drive up to the door. There were parking spaces right at the front of the door of the church. You get out, you walk right in. And I remember walking out of our church and seeing one of our church members punch his girlfriend in the face, right in the church parking lot. Like, we literally had just left church. And I mean, you're talking about stunned, shocked, didn't know what to do. I was like stuck in my shoes. My shoes wouldn't go to the right. They wouldn't go to the left. They wouldn't turn around and go backwards. I was just shocked, because I could not believe that I had just seen it happen. Right. And it just shook me. And I think that some of those moments that I've seen, I've had girlfriends that have been victims of domestic violence, and I have been a part of their lives and have helped them through that. And I think that's what has made me an advocate, and want to be an advocate for those that have experienced or been abused or in a domestically violent relationship. And so I want people to know how important it is to me, to us, to know that they have a voice. They have a platform where people support them, where people care about their well-being, and just know that you are loved, you are thought of, you are important, and your story does not have to end this way. There is a way out. There is help. There is a phone number that you can call. We're going to put the domestic violence number up on the screen for you to call. If you feel like you have been a victim, or you are a victim, or you know someone that is a victim of domestic violence, there is a hotline that you can call to get help. People are available 24/7. The phone number is 1-800-799-SAFE, 800-799-7234. 833. And you having a conversation with them is anonymous. They won't tell anybody about you calling. They won't tell anybody about your situation or your story or what you're going through, but they will definitely help you through your situation. So knowing that we were going to talk about domestic violence, we have an anonymous letter that was sent to us from a listener who wants our audience to hear her story and chime in. And so right before we get into the letter, we are going to show you what we saw yesterday.
Dun, dun, dun.
OMG.
Yeah. The rhino's like the size of a truck.
Yeah. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
Are there more?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. I mean, this thing, do you see that he's walking up toward the vehicle? That's a real car. This is not photoshopped. Yeah, this isn't photoshopped. This is the real deal Holyfield.
And this is me taking photography through a window because they said, do not let your windows down. Do not get out of the car.
Yeah.
Okay. And we was like, okay.
And we was like, okay, you ain't got to
really have to tell us that.
You have to tell us that. Mm-hmm. This was crazy. I mean, look at his head. Look at his horn. Did you get one of the one? Look at the horn. Did you get one of the ones that had the? There it is. Look at that. Mm-hmm. And listen, don't let his head down toward the ground fool you. He is looking at you. Mm-hmm. He is looking at you.
Was eat grass.
Yes, I said I'm starting to eat me some grass. If I had some muscle,
don't want to be like that.
No, I don't want to be that big. But you know, like the giraffes, how they like the bodies are like sleek and all smooth. They eat trees.
Well, I'm just saying, grass has no fat, but look at him.
Yeah, he thick.
If I ate grass and I saw that, I think I would stop eating grass right now.
I'm with
because I think, well, is that how I'm going to end up?
Right. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, we saw zebras. I mean, it was such an amazing trip. The name of the zoo was the Lion Safari, Lion Country. Yep. It's in Loxahatchee, Florida. It's down by Palm Beach or in Palm Beach, near Palm Beach, Florida. And it was an amazing trip. We had an awesome time. And I would recommend this safari. We actually drove through twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was that nice.
They had those longhorns.
They had longhorns.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. If you have younger babies or grandbabies that you want to take, they have a petting zoo where the little kids can go and feed the more tamed animals that won't hurt you if you run up on them. I mean, he is looking dead at us. It was crazy. We had an amazing time. Oh my gosh, I have to go back to that one. Look at all those zebras. Zebras were that was crazy. Yeah. It was awesome. We had a great time.
Beautiful animals.
They are beautiful. Yeah, that was nice.
And they're like right there next to the car.
Yeah, literally. Like as close as you see them, that was like right out the window. It was awesome.
Yeah. You see those bulls though. Because that was right next to the car.
That was right next to the car.
That?
We saw monkeys. They were playing and swinging on trees. I mean, if you can see them up there, they were.
Some of us see monkeys every day, but these are like
real monkeys.
Real monkeys in the wild.
Exactly. Yeah, some people act like monkeys every day. That thing, he was huge, and this was from far away. This was across the water. We saw him.
I had my zoom lens on.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. But it was a lot of fun. So if you want to take a family trip, go down and have a meal, plan a trip, a family vacation. We went down in one day, went down in the morning, turned around and came back that afternoon and got it done. And we had a blast. So
yeah, and the good thing is these animals, like most of them weren't like just laying there doing nothing. They're pretty active. It's like they were like really in their element. It's especially this little one monkey after this, the white
monkey. Yeah,
that thing was just having so much fun.
Yeah,
it's almost like it knew it was like showtime. This is showtime. But was it showtime for everybody else or just for us? Because you should be tired right now.
Exactly. Yeah, really.
Just swinging around.
I know it was. there he is. It was. I mean, he was doing his thing. He was swinging from one rope to the next one. You see him now. You see him upside down. I mean, it was awesome. Now look at him. Look like he swinging from the pole to the rope. I mean, he was so active. And I know y'all see that big behind giraffe back there in the distance back there. Yeah, that thing. Those were huge too. Look at him. He's swinging. I mean, I'm talking a good time.
Yeah.
A really, really good time. Can we show the giraffes real quick? I'm gonna flip through so y'all can see the giraffe. Y'all see him? I mean, he's just swinging and having a good time. I mean, one arm, showing out. Now look at that. Is that beautiful or what? Beautiful. You know, I did not know that giraffes spread their legs wide so their head can get down to eat the grass. I mean, this giraffe, you see his legs over here?
You think that his head is long enough to just go ahead and reach down there, but he's like, nah, my
head ain't long enough. I got to spread my legs. I got to separate my legs and get down. Squat. Yes, and you love the monkey. You went back to the monkey.
Yeah, we came back around.
Well, anyway, there you go. Some nice pictures of giraffes, but we had a great time. So again, if you're interested in a family trip, taking the grandkids down to a one-day trip, you know, go down to Loxahatchee Zoo, the lion safari, and enjoy the animals. They were beautiful, and we absolutely loved our experience. It was awesome. So shout out to the lion safari in Loxahatchee, Florida. Okay, so let's jump into it. I'm going to read the letter, but before I read the letter, can we talk? So we're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about domestic abuse and how it affects relationships, how it affects people, how it affects, that there's more than just a physical aspect of domestic abuse or domestic violence. Domestic violence comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes. It can be financial abuse. It can be emotional abuse. It can be physical abuse. It can be mental abuse. It can be social abuse. It can be, racial abuse. It just comes, bullying, that's abuse. And so people need to understand. And earlier we were talking about the fact that a lot of people put domestic violence and domestic abuse in a box because they think, oh, domestic violence is just between a man and a woman. But domestic violence can be between two men or two women that may be in relationship. Domestic violence can be between a parent and a child who feels bullied or taken advantage of, or a child that takes advantage of a parent. Sometimes you have a parent that's maybe elderly, but they have a lot of money or they have a nice home or have a nice car, and you're abusing them by taking advantage of putting gas in the car, driving it around, abusing the car, staying at their house, not helping them take care of the home or pay rent or pay any money toward the water bill or the electric bill, and just taking advantage of the fact that, oh, that's my mama, we good.
Yeah, and even though, like you said, it does not have to be physical. It can be mental. It can be verbal. It can be, and it doesn't have to be to a certain point. Like, well, if I'm not yelling at you, then it's not, domestic violence.
Right.
I can whisper at you and tell you something that will damage you or scar you for the rest of your life.
That is so true. I talk about the Bible a lot, and the Bible says that life and death is in the power of your tongue. You'd be surprised that something you say to someone can have a lasting mental and emotional effect on them for the rest of their lives. And you could punch them in the arm, they get a bruise go away. They'd be like, it was right. It was somewhere up here. They forget where the bruise was at.
Right.
But that bruise that you put on their heart or on their mind emotionally can scar them for a very long time. So it's important that we understand what abuse is.
Right. And people that are abused, they finally leave or have enough strength to get out of that abusive relationship.
Right.
But the thing is, and never let it go, because they'll take it to the next relationship.
That is so true. And especially, yes, and if they are not called out on it, if they are not made to face what they have done. So as long as it's in the closet, as long as it's covered up, as long as it's not talked about, they still stand up like, I'm the man, I'm the woman, I got it going on, I'm, living large and stepping high and all this stuff until it's brought to the light.
Right. And that's on both sides, because you have the victim that finally get out of it and they take it into their next relationship.
Yeah.
Happy as can be, but they'll never forget it. So they make that person pay.
Right.
Then true. You also have that person that has been the victimizer that takes into the next relationship and says, I've gotten away with it for so long. That's just who I am.
That's just who I am. Yeah.
And my daddy did it.
Yeah.
His daddy did it.
Yeah.
And they never got dealt with. So you know what? You take it or leave it. And you know what? Some people that don't have the strength and really need that other side of that person's support, because they make money and they can do so many things so well, but it's that one thing to where they will kill you if you let them. You live with it.
Exactly.
And it's sad. There's so many people that are stuck in that type of situation that it's just sad that they feel like they can't get out,
and they believe that that's the norm.
That's the way.
Like I've heard people actually say that if he don't hit me, he don't love me. If she don't hit me, she don't love me. Well, don't love me, okay? Love somebody else. Don't love me that much. I don't want to be loved by you at all, because you put your hands on, and I'm light skinned, I bruise easily. So you put your hands on me, it's gonna look like, you done tried to kill me. If I bump the door or bump the couch, I have a bruise. Just walking by. If I graze something, I've seen bruises on my arms, on my legs, on my shoulder, my back. And I'm like, where in the world did that come from? And how did I do that? Because I bruise easily. So just imagine me being in a relationship where somebody is like really beating my behind.
Right. And not just sleeping next to you.
Exactly. So retarded.
I'm just saying, when you wake up in the morning and be like, where did this come from? Did you kick me?
Listen, because when I went to bed, I ain't had no bruises and scars. I woke up, it was a bruise on my leg. I'm like,
sometimes when things don't show up right away.
That is very true.
So you can't blame it on the person that you're sleeping next to.
That's true. Amen.
Okay,
so listen, I pulled up celebrities who have been charged with domestic violence, and I did this because so that we can have common understanding, common ground, and talk about some things that have been in the news. So these are some of the headlines. So I'm just gonna scroll down so you can see. Stacey Dash, as many may know, she was charged with, she got into a heated argument here in Florida, in Newport Richey, and was arrested for domestic violence. She entered a written plea of not guilty for the domestic battery charge, according to the documents, but later on admitted to the domestic violence. Okay. Johnny Depp accused of domestic violence against his wife. She had an Amber Heard. She filed a restraining order against him and then filed for divorce because of the domestic violence that had been going on in their relationship. The two had been married for less than 2 years when the actress claimed he smashed an iPhone into her face.
I think he's been in trouble for that a few times.
I think so too.
Not an iPhone, but for domestic violence.
But he just looked like a bad boy.
I'm just saying, like, it's always an iPhone.
That was an iPhone.
For your eye, I don't know.
You know what? No, the iPhone is not for your eye. But he smashed an iPhone into her face during an argument. The two have been fighting, according to the police records. The two have been fighting at their Los Angeles home, and Depp allegedly smashed several objects while yelling, and she was on the phone with a friend at the time and yelled, "Call the cops," as Depp grabbed the phone from her and smashed it into her face. Mel Gibson, in 2010, this was 11 years ago, he pleaded no contest in a battery charge regarding his then wife, Oksana Grigorieva. Woo, last name, Grigorieva. He was also arrested in 2006 for drunk driving. The charge was associated with Gibson's now infamous anti-Semitic tirade.
I like him too.
Sean Penn. I like Sean Penn. He was arrested for the domestic assault of then wife Madonna. He served 33 days in prison for an incident in which he punched a photographer. So not only did he abuse his wife at the time, who was the singer Madonna, he also was in prison for 33 days for an incident for punching a photographer. He got issues with his hands. Emma Roberts, she was arrested for domestic violence for beating up her boyfriend, Evan Peters, while in Canada. The couple both starred on American Horror Story. So she was arrested for beating up her boyfriend. He looked crazy, okay? Triple X Temptation, he probably been arrested a whole bunch of times for stuff that he's done. He's been in jail. He did a brief stint in jail. The woman said that he put a knife to her neck after learning she had been with another man. So he was threatening to kill her because she had been with somebody else. So he had been in trouble for potentially raping, allegedly raping a young lady, and as well as putting knives to their necks and all kinds of stuff. Chris Brown, we all know the story of Chris Brown and Rihanna getting into an altercation in the car. Talking about Nicolas Cage, he was arrested for domestic battery and disturbing the peace. He reportedly pushed his wife outside of a tattoo shop and punched some cars with an S that was nearby. Charlie Sheen pleaded no contest to a 1996 charge that he attacked his girlfriend at his home. Carmen Electra, she got into a fight with her boyfriend because she thought that the boyfriend was seeing someone else, and She lost her mind. Michael Lohan. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I can scroll through. Everybody knows about Dennis Rodman, his tirades. He was arrested for domestic violence in 2003 and then again in 2008 when he got into a domestic violence situation with his girlfriend, his then wife, Carmen Electra. Steven Seagal. Now, listen, when I read this one about Steven Seagal, I was like, I'm sorry, what? Not my Steven Seagal. Like, that's my boy. And he was married to Kelly LeBrock. If you don't know her, she's an actress. She claimed that Steven Seagal was abusive throughout their marriage. Seagal has also been sued for sexual harassment several times, as well as for assaulting women on his movie sets.
He doesn't assault women.
Listen, Tommy Lee, Ozzy Osbourne, Mickey Rourke. Look at James Brown. Get y'all cousin, kinfolk, your uncle, your nephew. Rest his soul. But the funk legend James Brown was arrested for domestic violence in 2004. Brown has also been arrested for drug possession, armed robbery, and arson.
Y'all saw the movie.
Yeah. Exactly. Gary Busey, Slash, Tom Sizemore, Christian Slater, Richard Hatch, James Cain, Dudley Moore, another one, Chad Ochocinco. Y'all remember the situation in 2001 and in 2012. He was charged for domestic violence. He head-butted his then wife in the head, left her head split open. She had to get stitches. And I thought she was going to kill the man because he would have had to die. Vanilla Ice, Vince Neil. Anyway, the list goes on and on.
It's sad. And the sad thing about it is these are the people that have been caught, put on blast because they're celebrities. Okay, we gonna catch you, put you on blast. Imagine all the people that's still doing this today that haven't been caught. If there's any signs that somebody's hinting to you that something's going on in their life, that they may kind of need help,
right?
Lend a hand.
Exactly. So those are situations and celebrity stories that I've read that have happened over the years. But what I want to point out is just some of the headlines that are currently in the news. And this doesn't even scratch the surface of the headlines that I was actually reading through. But this is just some of the headlines. He beat his wife. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Headlines. He beat his wife to death on an Alaskan cruise in front of their children. That one took my heart to my feet. The husband wife got into an altercation in their cabin, and their children had a connecting room, and so their balconies were able to see each other right next to each other on the balcony. And their two daughters watched their father beat their mother to death. And as he beat her, he was dragging her by the ankle, and he was getting ready to throw her overboard. So the girls were screaming for help, and the brother of the wife came, and the brother and the father of the wife came and bust through the door, and just in the nick of time were able to grab her back, her arm back from him trying to throw her overboard, but she died from her injuries. And these two little girls will have to live with this traumatic experience for the rest of their lives. That's just one headline. Woman allegedly abandoned in forest in week-long spate of domestic violence. That's a headline. Foster father claims he accidentally suffocated his schoolgirl daughter, teenage girl. That's a headline. Sydney man in serious condition after alleged domestic assault. His wife assaulted him with a machete. That's a headline. Mother of two charged with murder after father stabbed to death. She stabbed the father of her children to death. Man dies from stab wound in domestic incident in Rockhampton. Man charged with attempted murder after allegedly stabbing woman in domestic incident. Man allegedly shoots new girlfriend's ex-partner in a love triangle incident. Man jailed after stabbing ex-girlfriend in the driveway. It just doesn't stop. Calls for paid domestic violence leave as abuse spikes during the pandemic. Can we talk about that? If you have to stay home with your spouse and y'all can't stand each other, it's time to go.
It is time to go. You know, it's one thing to court someone, date someone, and show them all the goody to get them. And it's another thing for all that to fade away. Then you start seeing the signs, and then you start ignoring the signs.
Exactly.
You know when a person's no longer the person they were before.
That's true. That's true. And you know, I'm gonna say this I'm gonna walk on eggshells when I say this, but I have a question. In a violent, abusive relationship where a man is beating on a woman or a woman is beating on the man, is the person with the black eye fully to blame?
I wouldn't necessarily say the person with the injury is fully to blame.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the person with the injury is just the punching bag for the person with the issue.
Okay.
So that doesn't justify the right to put your hands on somebody. Just like somebody knowing that they have a problem drinking, and when they drink, they get violent. Why would you drink and go home?
Exactly.
Why would you drink at home?
Right. So would you say that a domestic violence situation is 50-50? Would you say?
No, I think that the person that's the aggressor should have enough control and enough knowledge of themselves to be aware of what they're doing and find a way to stop themselves.
Well, what happens when someone...
You can't blame the victim for egging you on to do something to them.
But are you the victim because you got punched?
Well, actually it can go both ways.
Okay.
Because one could be defensive.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm asking, are you the victim because you are the one that ends up with the black eye, or you're the one that ends up with the bruises? Is it ever a time where the person that has the black eye because you kept poking the bear, and that was how they reacted? Now, not saying that reaction is right, not saying that what they did is justified because, oh, you made me do it, or you caused me to get this angry, when there are other options. There's a walking away, there's leaving, there's, stop talking, stop engaging. There's all kinds of options that you can take instead of putting your hands on someone. But I just want to have the conversation and be devil's advocate to say, am I the reason for this altercation, or am I the problem, or should I be arrested because you have the black eye and you have the visual signs of the pain?
I don't think that just because someone shows injury that they're the victim or the aggressor. I think you need to hear the whole story. There's always three sides. There's your side, there's that person's side, and then there is the truth.
Right.
And, one could be a lie, the other one could be a lie, and then there's still the truth. But the thing is, just because you're injured, just because you got knocked upside your head with a pot, does not mean that you didn't do something wrong, or does not mean that you didn't do everything right to avoid getting knocked upside the head with a pot. So I can be the aggressor egging you on and not even touch you, but you get frustrated and punch me in the eye. Am I the victim?
Well...
Right, because I gave you verbal abuse, you returned and gave me physical abuse.
Right.
Who's wrong?
We both are.
We're both wrong, but who goes to jail?
The
person that struck the person.
That struck the person, absolutely. Because is there such thing as I'm arresting you for emotional abuse? Right.
No, just you called me out of my name. No, I can't think of any time I've ever heard on the news where a husband calls woman out of name and gets arrested and gets 15 days in prison. I never heard that, but I have seen many times where someone gets hit, and it's the person that's hit is asked, "Do you want to press charges?"
Exactly, and that's where the conversation should happen.
And that goes both ways. Female gets hit or male gets hit.
Yes,
that person is asked, "Do you want to press charges?"
Right. So I was reading, and do you know which state? Can you guess which state has the highest domestic violence statistics in the United States? What if you had to guess which state had the highest statistics of domestic violence? What would you guess? Which state would you guess?
Which state would you all guess?
We want to hear from you.
Yeah, since we're not really playing trivia, we're gonna do this without giving away money and see how many people answer. Which state?
So tell us, what do you okay, I'm gonna tell you my answer. I would think New York. And I'll tell you why I would say New York, because it's highly populated. there's always activity in the streets, events going on. There's always tourists visiting, wanting to see the city. So there's always people either that live there, visiting there, touring there. So in my thinking, I would say if I had to choose a state that had the highest statistics of domestic violence or abuse, I would say New York.
Yeah, I would say either New York or California. That's what I would say, because there's a lot of movie stars and people with money in those regions, California and New York, the Big Apple. And those and typically when people have money, they feel like they have power. Yes. And that's when they abuse that power and that's why a lot of racial relationships don't last that long.
Right.
In places like California and New York, because there's people there
that have power or associate money with power.
There's a lot more people that's associated with money and power, and they feel like, well, I could do anything. I don't need to treat you right for the rest of my life because I own you.
Exactly. So who do you think? We want to know. We want your feedback. We want you just guess a state or tell us what you think, with your feedback on which state you think has the highest domestic violence statistics in the United States. We want to talk about it. And while we're talking about that, I'm going to read this anonymous letter. We had a letter that was written by a young lady who wants to get our response, get our feedback, hear what we have to say about it. So we're going to read the letter. You ready? Here we go. While you're thinking about the state that you want to give your feedback on or guess has the highest, or while you're looking it up. Right. Okay. So here's the letter. You want to read the letter? It's right here in front of you.
It's hard to know where to begin. I met my husband on the internet. We talked for a while. Then exchanged phone numbers and finally met face to face. It seemed we had so much in common. I guess we still do. But now things have gone very wrong for us. He is often depressed and becomes extremely angry with me when I question him in any way. Only lately, there's been a hint of violence. In anger, he put a dent in my car and some bruises on my arm. And there's more. I know that I have been moody. Well, I'm not pregnant, but I am pregnant. and I'm finding it hard to adjust to the hormonal changes in my body. Sometimes I think I am very responsible when in fact I am not. Later, I am sorry, I apologize. Even so, I don't think that my bad behavior gives my husband the right to be violent towards me. I am finding it extremely difficult to be intimate with him in any sense of the word. I tell him in confidence or admit to a fault. He throws it up in my face every time we fight. In bed, we just can't get in bed. I just can't get aroused at all, which I don't think is totally due to my pregnancy. Not my pregnancy. I try to please my husband in any way because I know that is very important for him. He knows that I am not enjoying myself, and it makes him even angrier with me. It seems to be a cycle that feeds on itself. I need to get back to emotional and intellectual intimacy before I can really enjoy the other. I am becoming increasingly frightened, and I need some good advice. Please help me.
First of all, wow. So for me, there's a lot going on in this letter. First of all, she's pregnant. Okay. And obviously, or hopefully, it's with his child.
Right.
And that's one thing. And she's experiencing obviously emotional abuse because he's angry and he's punching cars and putting dents in cars and stuff. So she's experiencing his visual, anger and emotional abuse in that aspect. And then, the sexual relationship has gone left because she's not even interested in having intercourse with him because of how he's been acting. That's number 2. And then number 3, he gets drunk And in his anger, he's lashing out and he's acting different, and she's becoming afraid. So at this point, when you start becoming afraid of someone who is supposed to be your protector, for me, that's a deal breaker.
At some point, because you're going through a pregnancy, you have to put yourself in protective mode.
Yes.
And get out of it.
Right.
I'm not saying get a divorce. I'm not saying quit him. I'm saying you need to make it clear to him that you cannot be in this environment. I'm going to my aunties, my sisters, my mom's house for a while, because one thing it's going to cause stress, which could then cause a miscarriage.
Right. Absolutely. And then the other thing she said in the letter, if I recall correctly, she said something about him starting to get depressed. And if she questions him in any way, he gets angry at her. And so he gets extremely angry. Excuse me. The letter says, but now things have gone very wrong for us. He is often depressed and becomes extremely angry with me if I question him in any way. Only lately has there been a hint of violence, which is the first indication that it's time to go. And in anger, he put a dent in my car and some bruises on my arm. So not only is he punching into objects, he's now putting his hands on you, and you are pregnant. So he has no sense of care at this point that you have a child growing inside of you. So he's not only putting your life in danger, but he's putting your child's life in danger.
So everything that he's done gives you a valid reason to remove yourself from that environment, or tell him, hey man, if you love me, why don't you go stay with your homeboy for a while?
Right.
Because, until you calm down.
Right.
And he may say, calm down. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He already jumped. So somebody has to remove themselves from that environment, especially during the pregnancy. And then hopefully everything will get better after the pregnancy, after that time, because sometimes time heals, stuff like that.
Being separate.
And sometimes time allows you to see things clearer and feel and figure out, wow, you know what? I love myself. I love myself enough not to move on with this person, because now that I think about it, this person's been like this all my life. It's not the pregnancy. Right. I'm just more emotional and I see things a little different now.
Right.
And now I'm in protect mode, because now I have a child that I have to protect too. And now I'm seeing everything.
Right.
So, and when you're not protecting a child, you're not pregnant, you're not emotional, you're not seeing all those things. You don't have all the
the hindsight.
The things in hindsight. That's just popping up right and left. You don't have all of that. You're a different person when you're pregnant, and you may have been able to deal with that before. And she didn't say how long they were together before she got pregnant. No. So that makes a difference too. Is it the pregnancy? Because people change.
That is very true.
During the pregnancy, people change. He could have been a great guy all this whole time, and now it may be, part of it could be he's nervous. He don't know what he's going to do with a family now. Yes. She didn't mention if she had other kids or anything. So he could be at a point to where he's like, okay, I'm trying to get myself together. I'm about to become a father, and I'm losing it. So maybe he's losing it too.
Yeah, and you know what? That's so important. I think people tend to not take into account the history of the person that is the abuser.
Yeah, which is no justification at all.
None whatsoever.
We're just saying that sometimes that comes from something else.
Absolutely.
And it's not just who the person is, what they become.
Right.
Sometimes it just comes from, there's a root cause to a lot of where it comes from.
Right. And people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you never express your feelings, if you never have conversation, if you never share your perspective, then you'll be stuck in a cycle that takes you to a place that you feel depressed and hurt and sad and, have no value or no voice. And you have to first recognize those things for yourself, because you'll never hear it if somebody else is telling you. I'll never forget, I had a girlfriend who was in a relationship, and from the outside looking in, I was looking at her like, you done lost your mind being with him. Because if that was me, I'd be done cut. God, I cut him too short to poop. I'm trying to tell you. I mail you to your mama one body part at a time, because it was just out of control the way that he was taking advantage of her and treating her, and the level of expectation that he was putting on her to make her feel like, well, you have to do this for me and you need to do this for me. And did you not get my phone call? I need you to pick me up because my truck was broke down on the side of the road, and I'm putting you down as my contact in an emergency, and you need to be at the hospital if you get a phone call. But didn't want to be in a relationship with her. Didn't want to be seen out in public with her. Didn't want to take her out to dinner. When it was her birthday, he brought her a gift to her house so that they wouldn't be seen together. And I'm just like, from the outside looking in, I'm like, okay, are you stupid or you dumb?
Or you do girl?
Or are you the do girl? And so it just bothered me to the point that I stopped communicating with her, because I'm just like, I'm just a different person. And I think for me, because I was raised around very strong Black women, I just have this, I don't want to call it aggressive nature, but I have this authoritative nature where it's just like, I just don't see myself in a relationship like that. And you just can't just do me no any kind of way, which is why I believe that God has blessed me with such an amazing husband, because he is a provider. He is a protector. He professes his love for me. He's very caring and very affectionate and very soft-spoken most of the time. But okay, that's all the compliments I'm giving because you went too far.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
All right.
But anyway, so I think there's a balance in our relationship because I know how I was raised and what I've been around and the women that are in my life. I have mostly women in my life growing up, and they are very strong, outspoken, opinionated. They don't bite their tongue. They're very authoritative. They have always had to be in control and take charge, and a third or fourth of them have been married for 30, 40 years, but they still have this authoritative nature because of how we were raised. And I appreciate their husbands because they respect the fact that they have a strong Black woman in their life.
Well, and I was just going to expound on that. I think part of being a strong, solid Black man and being sure of yourself does not give you a lot of room to look for anyone that's weak.
Yes.
You want somebody that's strong too, because two strong people together as our, ourselves, is nothing that we cannot do if we put our heads together and just do it.
Absolutely.
But when you have a dominator and then one that's weak,
right,
then there's an imbalance there that will never come together and be a strong, unit.
And that in itself can cause frustration, because if you are the stronger one of the two and the weaker one never steps up, to meet you halfway, and you're constantly doing this and doing that and being pulled this way and being asked to do this and having to go here and having to go there, it begins to take a toll on you, not just physically, but mentally. Because it's like, well, why do I always have to do this? And why is everybody always asking me to do something? And how come when it comes to our relationship and our family, I'm always the one that has to go and be and do and say and act and whatever else and give and blah blah blah. So yes, it does take a good balance between a man and a woman to make a great relationship, but you have to know your worth. You have to know your value. TW was messing with me earlier. He was saying, "Shoo, you got it good, not just no." He said, "You got it green, which means how we say the grass isn't always green on the other side." He told me, he's like, "You got it green," and I thought about that thing and it made me chuckle a little bit because I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say.
And she didn't have nothing to say. I thought you were mad because I said it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let this ride. Then she chuckled it again. I'm like, okay, well, what's funny?
Because it was the truth. Like, I had nothing to say. You had me speechless because honestly, our relationship is green. We go above and beyond for each other. We fight for our love. We fight for each other. We profess our love. We make sure that we announce our love. We're not afraid to let the world know about our love, and we are genuine about our love. And it's we said to each other the other day, it's you and I against the world.
Yeah, we feel like we can do anything. And
when you have someone in your life like that, there's no room for abuse or domestic violence or anything like that. I think that when you get to a point that you love yourself enough to be proud of yourself, to be confident in yourself, to be sure of yourself, and you walk around with that vibe, you walk around with that aura, you walk around with that characteristic about yourself, you begin to attract that type of energy to yourself. And we both walk around with love in our hearts, with love on our lips. We always make it a point to say the I love yous, and you're handsome and you're beautiful, and I love you in my life, and all that good stuff. And trust me, when you begin to speak positive things out of your mouth, you begin to believe those positive things. But if you speak negative things, then you're going to attract those negative things. So when it comes to being in an abusive relationship or a relationship of domestic violence, if you are allowing yourself to be in that circle or having that atmosphere around you, it creates your future. It creates your day.
Yeah, it does. And also keep in mind that whether you're a man or a woman,
yes,
that's working from home or working out on the road, working, and your spouse is an at-home mom
yes,
or dad, does not mean that you have power over them.
Right.
Put your foot in their shoes and be that at-home mom or dad, and maybe you'll see just how much work they're doing.
Absolutely.
Now, if you come home and you left their sleep and you get home in their sleep, then that's a little different.
Right.
But when they're cleaning up all day, cooking all day, raising the children, washing dishes, washing clothes, and all that every single day to make sure that when you come home, everything is on point.
Order. Yeah.
That's a job.
Yes.
You know, they may not be getting paid money, but that's the mental, gratification that you're going to get when you walk in the house and see everything in order, because houses don't stay in order by themselves. Something has to be done.
Especially when you have young children or even teenagers, they go in the refrigerator and leave stuff left out or put dishes in the sink, and all that stuff has to be taken care of. So men, if you have a stay-at-home wife who's taking care of the children, even if you don't have children, if she's a stay-at-home wife because you can afford to have her stay at home and she's cooking and cleaning and making sure the house is in order when you get home, please understand that that's a job.
That's a job. That is, do you want the job?
Exactly.
You want to switch places?
And vice versa. There are some wonderful dads and fathers that are staying home with their children, taking care of the home, cooking and cleaning and doing all that good stuff. Shout out to you if you are doing that. So wives and mothers, please support and respect and honor these dads and fathers that are staying home with the kids, because that is a job.
Yeah, even picking them up and dropping off from school.
Yes.
That stuff like that, helping them with the homework. I mean, I've been there.
Absolutely.
So I know, and
I've been
when you do it with love in your heart,
yes,
it doesn't feel like work because you're doing it out of love.
And then not only that, when you do those things and you are appreciated and valued for your part that you play in a relationship, you'd be surprised how good it feels just to hear I love you throughout the day. You're special, you're beautiful throughout the day. And you could have told me this morning, but if you wait another 30 minutes and tell me again, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna be late to work.
Green. That's green right there.
That's our new word. Our relationship is green. I like it. But because we put the work in and we don't take advantage of each other at all, when it comes to every aspect of relationship.
And it's a learning process. You don't automatically just know how to respond and how to act to everything that goes on with a person just because you've been around each other for 4 years, 5 years. It's always a learning process. We've known each other for 14 years and there's still things that pop up that's like, okay, we need to figure out how we're going to resolve this so that we can move on.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
But because we're both human, I'm a woman, I think like a woman thinks. You're a man, you think like a man thinks. And so with that, just that on the surface alone, there are going to be situations and circumstances and conversations that is just has to be had, because my perspective is different from your perspective, where you may take something and be like, ain't nothing, whatever, keep it moving. It may break my heart. It may just crush me to think that this is happening and you don't have an issue with it. And so we have to have a conversation about it. But that's a part of relationship. And to me, that is what makes a relationship even stronger and that much more valuable, when you can, this is what I say, when you can love me through my moment, that's love. Because it's easy to love when things are going good, when you're smiling and you're laughing and dinner was great and work was okay. You weren't stressed and people didn't get on your nerves and the kids are good. They got good grades in school and the teacher didn't call or send a letter home, or, he went outside and washed the car for you so you could go to work in a shiny car and all that good stuff. Or y'all watched a good movie and laughed and had a good time. But it's when those moments happen that aren't so comfortable. It's when those conversations come up that don't feel so great to talk about, and you can still love me through my moment, because my moment may not be your moment.
Okay, just like God. God will be with you through your moments, regardless of who you are, what you're going through.
Absolutely. Agape kind of love. Amen. Unconditional kind of love. So it's important to value yourself. And when you value yourself first and you know your worth, and you're confident in your worth, then you will attract that type of love, that type of energy. And, let me just say this. I have to say this. About 2 or 3 years ago, for those that know me, know that I was the no nonsense type of person. You piss me off, you're gonna know you piss me off. You make me mad, you gonna know I'm mad. I gotta say what I have to say because it's on my heart. I can't let it go. But I'm so blessed to be in a relationship where there is a balance of, honey, you don't have to say how you feel every time you're feeling something. Oh, honey, you don't have to say what you're thinking every time you're thinking something. Or just because you see it that way, or you think it that way, or it happened that way, you ain't got to jump 2 feet in and try to kill a person. And I'm just like, no, are you taking their side? You don't understand. You don't support me. And then I said, well, hold on. He has a point. And I had to grow into that and realize that, no, it does not take me flipping off the handle every time somebody says something I don't like, or it doesn't take me screaming or using profanity to get my point across because somebody's acting a certain way. So now I got to act a certain way to let you know that I'm time enough for you. All of that is not necessary. And he teaches me that, reserve your energy for things that matter.
Amen.
And just know that getting upset, getting outraged, cursing and screaming and getting, bent out of shape is not doing anything for the person you're mad at. It's affecting your mind, your spirit, your health, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, all of that stuff. It's affecting you.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go. I mean, everything can be challenged, but there's a way to do it.
There is a way to do it. And I love how we are able to have conversations now. Now, granted, when you get passionate about something or you feel a certain type of way about something, it's natural that you're going to raise your voice. You may get a little, heated or upset. But I love that we have come to a point in our relationship that we're able to recognize those moments and snap out of them quicker than before. And we're growing every single day. And so if you're in a relationship where you feel like your voice is not being heard, your feelings are not respected, you don't feel valued, then it's time to make different decisions and different choices.
Yeah. Or find some other tools, or, sometimes counseling works for people.
Yes.
Most men don't really like counseling. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell you right now, I'm not a big, advocate of counseling,
right?
But I'm not saying it's not effective,
right?
But, counseling may be something that could help. Find somebody that's neutral, that, maybe you don't know. Find somebody that you totally trust, that you both totally trust.
Absolutely.
Find somebody that you feel like ain't gonna go tell your business.
Right.
But if counseling ain't gonna help.
Yeah.
And you can't get over it, then all we're saying is domestic violence is not the answer.
Not the answer. Because once you get to that point, there is no return. Once you put your hands on someone, you can't take it back. Once you call somebody out their name, you can't take it back. Once you emotionally scar someone, you can't take it back. Mm-mm. And I know you've even told me this just on the surface. I know you've even told me this. There's only so many times you can say, yes, I forgive you.
Yeah, I mean, you're still gonna feel it.
Exactly.
Just because you forgive a person doesn't mean that, just because I forgave you, I forgot. No, right. It just means that, you know what? I understand what just happened, and I'm going to forgive you for being human. Right. It happened. Okay. Right. But you still have the scar.
That's true. That is very true. And so it's important that if you love someone, you care for them, you guard their heart, you're careful with your words, you're careful with your actions, you're careful with how you respond and how you treat people.
Yeah.
You know, we want to leave a legacy of love and relationship and family and value. And we want to be known for how we loved each other.
Yeah. Bad energy equals bad stress and bad health.
Absolutely. So we love you for watching. We're going to tell you, we asked the question, what was the state that had the highest domestic violence statistics? The state is Kentucky. Kentucky has the highest domestic violence statistics in the United States, with 45.3% of them being women and 35.5% of men having experienced domestic violence. In a single day, which was in 2019, Kentucky's domestic violence program served 1,420 adults and children survivors, while another 128 requests went unmet due to lack of resources in one day.
One day.
So the state of Kentucky, I don't want to visit there. They're crazy.
They're hot-headed.
So listen, that is our episode. We thank you so much for watching. We hope that something that we have said has sparked some enlightenment into you or into your relationship. We can't wait to see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, stay locked, and tell a friend. We will see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. We go. Hey, hey. Come on, babe. We keep it plain, we keep it real, we really get down to it, you know the drill, yeah, to the top, stay locked, we go, oh yeah, 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 hey, hey, we're not, we go, we go, we go, peace.